Good evening, coming live from, okay.
So November's here and Scorpios unite. It's my birthday month, so
Yes.
send all the gifts my way.
Yeah,
I think
get
that'd be
on
great.
that really quick.
But yeah, so we're into November now, and we just want to chat real quick. What's been going on in the market? How was October? Where are things going? So, as always, I'm Shane Parent, REMAX River City's Platinum Team.
Allison McDougall with REMAX River City's Platinum Team.
So, Allie, let's
talk some.
Yeah, so we summed up some things here just to kind of get right to the point. So, yeah. Take it away.
So, most people want to know a few things when we're talking stats. So we're going to get right to those instead of giving you a bunch of numbers that you then have to digest. So most people want to know if your home's value has gone up or down. So if you're looking at single family in the city of Edmonton, on average, year over year, it's gone up just over 3%. Okay, so from October last year to October of this year, we've seen an increase overall in single family.
Okay.
Month over month, which is not uncommon, we've seen that price just marginally drop 0.3%.
Okay. Seasonal.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah. Condos on average year over year up 0.6%. So, that's really minor if you take that across the board.
Yeah, especially when you compare it to a single family increase.
Yeah. But month over month saw a bit of an increase, 2.2%. Now that can often be because there was a high priced condo that sold that then kind of skews the numbers.
Yeah.
Duplexes, however, are raring. So they're up year over year, 9.5%.
Okay.
Okay. And month over month, 8.5%.
Interesting.
So duplexes, row houses, that type of product seems to really be kind of really desirable at this point in time.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that's trending because people want a little bit more space if they're working from home or spending more time at home.
Totally.
Want a yard maybe, or like I said, just have a little bit more space to use. Yeah.
That's a lot of the conversations I'm having these days is people's need for their home have shifted. And we saw that very early on in COVID, but that's continuing now that we're coming on a year and a half, 2 years into the pandemic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different conversations happening with what people need in their homes and how many people are working from home. Companies are making decisions about how, people being able to still work from home, permanent ones. So that's having an impact.
Yeah, interesting.
Now, if you're going to sell, how long is it going to take you?
Okay.
That's the next thing people usually want to know. So single family is around 42 days average on market if you are selling. That is down from last year. Okay. Last year we were seeing it at about 48 days on market.
Okay.
Okay. Now condos are up 62 days on market. Is average. Last year we were at about 59.
Okay.
Okay. And again, duplexes are still, they're very strong. So they're 42 days on market, and that's down from 53 last year.
Yeah, and I guess, there's a few things stat-wise that doesn't take into account is properties that list the full term and don't have a successful result, right? So if it doesn't sell, that doesn't add to the days on market, right? Those are ones that are actually selling.
Yes.
But it's still an apples to apples comparison at least, and gives us something to work with.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
And again, these are generalities for the city of Edmonton. We can always look at the specific data for your type of product or neighborhood.
Yeah.
Now, what do we see for opportunities and trends? Condos are still quite challenging to sell. We call it a pricing and a beauty contest often when we're chatting. So although we're seeing, the prices are marginally increasing, overall, if you've got a condo to sell, you've got to have some patience and be willing to be quite aggressive with the price to be one of those ones that is going to sell.
Right.
Okay. Now, on the other hand, that is a bit of an opportunity for people. If you're an investor looking to increase, some product, and don't mind buying and holding for a period of time, there are some really good opportunities out there with people that are just fed up with having the condo and having to manage renters and want to get rid of it.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense. A couple of things that I wanted to highlight just real quick. Recently, Zillow in the US announced that they took a real big hit with their using their Zestimates and also their iBuyer program, and picked up a lot of product even over a market value and just high prices. and having very tough time selling that product, and are dumping homes in a big way. I know that, yeah, go ahead.
Can you clarify for people what an iBuyer program is?
Oh, geez, that's a whole conversation. It's basically an upgraded version of the We Buy Houses posters, but it's through the brokerage and there's big money behind it, and they can, for a cost, make the transaction a lot easier. Just an instant offer basically on your property, but usually at higher fee.
Yeah.
But for some people, it makes sense, right? And so we'll look at that for clients. I know in Edmonton there are some, and I don't think that they'll look at condos at this point in time, just single family homes, and the stuff that you probably have a pretty good time selling anyways.
On your own, yeah.
So it's just like, hey, it's worth looking at because it's an option out there, and educate. But I wouldn't say it's the end all be all type of a program at this point.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's totally fine. Because it is something that's new and trendy, right? And it sounds sexy, right? iBuyer. Yeah. Is that from Apple? I don't know. And then the second thing I wanted to touch on is that we were in Toronto a few weeks ago and met with CIBC's head economist, and he was really adamant about interest rates on the rise from the Bank of Canada, and that trending down into mortgage rates,
right.
and was really emphasized that interest rates will go up mid-2022.
Okay.
Their prediction and recommendation was to gradually increase interest rates, to not have that big abrupt increase. And obviously the effects on the economy would be pretty dramatic, but do expect that. So if home ownership or refinancing or any of that second home type of thing was in your plans for 2022, maybe just get a rate hold, get those plans in place so that if it does go up, you're locked in.
Yeah, and that's a simple conversation with one of our mortgage brokers, somebody in our team. There's no obligation to it.
Yep.
They can do a rate hold, and typically for 60 days at least.
Yep.
And if you use it, great. If you don't,
cost you nothing.
Cost you nothing,
Yeah.
and you've just got that time.
Yeah. Let's talk high-low real quick, and then sign out.
Awesome. So I'm going to do single family first.
Okay.
Has a really cool property sold, the high end.
Okay.
Was in Glenora in Alexander Circle. I'm not sure a lot of people know it. It's quite a prestigious location. So it sold for $2.7 million.
Nice.
And it was a 3,400 square foot, 2.5 story, originally built in 1922.
Wow.
So cool historic one in a really unique area.
Yeah.
Houses around there don't go very often.
Yeah, most of the ones we talk about are all like new fit and new infill and that type of thing. So that's cool to see.
Yeah, that would have been a cool one to see. And then the low end was one in Eastwood, which is like 79th Street, 118th Ave, and 685 square foot single family.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it sold for 120.
Yeah, and I made sure like it's livable.
Totally.
Right?
It needs work.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? But it's a small little single family place. You can get into ownership.
On the condo end, on the less expensive, I would say cheap, but on the less expensive side, high value, let's call it, 48,400 would get you 675 square foot. Is that bigger than your house?
It is.
Yeah. So.
Oh no, I'm 10 square feet bigger.
Oh, great. And that was in Boyle Street.
Okay.
And so a second floor unit even. So and then on the big guy, penthouse went in the Fox 2, which is a bit of a newer building, but penthouse unit, and it sold at $995,000.
How many square feet was that?
That one there is 2,100.
Nice.
We'll call it. Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah, nice big monster. But, like we always say, hey, so market values and real estate is neighborhood specific, and so if you had any interest in looking at the market or just curious on what your home's value looks like with all the changes, we're happy to have a conversation. So
anytime.
Reach out to myself or Allison, and we're happy to help.
Absolutely. Have a great day and a great November.